parents, Tyler here, and welcome back to At Home Videos. Remember, these are designed to help you, the parent, continue the conversation at home. And tonight, we're actually going to start a very, very interesting and potentially difficult conversation together as a student ministry. Because we're starting a series on the book of Job. Now, we really are going to do this for two reasons. First, we want to give just biblical literacy. Like, we want to be able to understand, we want students to understand books of the Bible, to know the story of Job. But we also want to interact with some of the themes that we see in the book of Job, and one of those, the obvious one, is suffering. And tonight, we're going to be in Job chapter 1 and chapter 2. Now, with that in mind, this is like really when Job's worst day of his life happens. But in my worst day, and potentially in your worst day, I don't think that we respond the way that Job does. Because Job says, the Lord gives and he takes away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Job, in the middle of his worst day ever, in the middle of his trial, in the middle of his suffering, in the middle of the hard times, he worships God. See, we're going to talk about three different types of suffering. Like, there's this type of suffering that God allows that gives us strength, like that produces steadfastness. We see that in James chapter 1. There's also a type of suffering that we do to ourselves, whether it's a consequence of a sin that we did. You know, your kid did this, so they have this consequence. But there's also this other type of suffering where God allows something to happen in our life, something to happen to us, just so that we can have more of him. Because here's the reality. What God knows is that he is ultimate. He is supreme. He is above everything else. And he knows that what is best for us is him. For us to have more of God is what is best for us. Now, this is totally countercultural to everything that we believe kind of as like in our culture, in American culture. And so the thing about it is that this is going to be a tough message to begin to process. So I would just invite you to enter into this conversation with your student to say, okay, when we look at the life of Job, when we see him suffering, how does he respond to God? Has there been moments in your life when there's been suffering that you just got more of God? You got closer to God because of that? And so maybe those are a couple of questions to help you continue the conversation, this incredibly difficult conversation. So, hey, we'll be praying for you guys, and we love you. We'll see you guys next week.